Welcome back to Vintage Story Rusty Gears. One of the things that you have to do if you are a YouTuber is to do a lot of work in the background when you are playing games like Vintage Story. I play Banished and I play Stardew Valley. I record every single minute. The game progresses and it's very easy to do videos. Then you just render them, put them up. You don't have to do much editing. But when you play a game like Vintage Story, it's a really grindy game and it's very, very immersive. Now, Andy and I are playing as a team and we both did a huge amount of work yesterday. I recorded a lot of the work I'd done, but I decided at the end that I would actually show you what we'd done rather than trying to show you vignettes. So first of all, let's have a look at me, and if I take my armor off for a minute, can you see on my chest I have, let me see if you can see this, look at that, can you see my necklace? Beautiful, isn't it? Well, what is it? It's actually a bronze gem necklace. Now, Andy gave it to me and he said that he wasn't going to wear it. So he gave it to me. Where would he get such a thing from, you may ask? Well, I have set up a very, very safe place here where it's a, can you see the water in there? It's very faint, but that, can you see if I jump in? No, it's actually a well. Yes, you can just see the edge. So we've set that up and both of us have a pan. We can hide in here, and both Andy and I have been hiding here, and because we've now got a safe place to pan, we are starting to pan. So that means that we are starting to come up with some quite interesting goodies. So in here you can see that I've got a diamond and a rough emerald that have both come to me through panning. Now I've got 9 rusty gears. I got 1 through panning, but Andy was an absolute star and shared with me the profit he'd made in the shop. I will of course sell things and share the profit with him. On top of that, Andy has been harvesting peat. I think he harvested it when we went through the translocator. Now, talking of the translocator, I have set up 2 chests here. I just want to make sure that door's shut, just in case anything comes through, because we share a lot. I've set up 2 chests, Ash's share and Andy's share. So you can see that Andy has got all this lot that he has acquired. I don't know where these came from, whether they're from sales or panning, but he's got a nice lot. Now I put one of the age crates in here and the beeswax, and I'm making bow staves for us both here. And also I shared the lily of the valley and also some ferns, which he seems to have taken. So I've shared some eagle ferns, lily of the valley. I gave him a bony rib cage, and I've kept one of these for myself. And then he got a candle and 3 back beeswax, I got a candle. And also we've shared, and this bow stave for me. So we've shared a lot. So this is our sharing mechanism. On top of that, we've done a lot. You can probably see we've got glass in here. Andy's done a huge amount of getting quartz, and so have I. Now through here, I have moved the bloomeries to here, and you can see that we've got glass in here, glass in here. Oh gosh, don't let me get rid of that. Yeah, that's not the best design, is it? May have to rethink that. Let's get this one mended. All right, let's just pop that back. And I'm just going to pop the fire clay bricks which we need to do more here, because obviously they do run out over time. You lose a few every time you break a bloomery. So in here, look at the piles of quartz we've got, absolutely massive. And the clear quartz I'm going to take out and put back in the other chest. We're getting used to each other's storage systems at the moment, which is really quite good. So we've got another 36 there, and the clear quartz. Some of this I can use, or I would like to use, but I also want to make sure that Andy gets enough for what he needs to do. Now, on top of that, we've been collecting copper. We've both been harvesting copper. I have been harvesting, I found some lead, so we've made some molybdechalcos. So we've both been harvesting. Our ore chest, in spite of the amount of stuff we've made, is looking good. I've been rounding up black coal. Andy's been rounding up sulfur. We've been working on lumps of fat, and we've been working on tools. So between the two of us, we've got quite a lot going. Now we are working at the moment on getting together a hopper and a quern. I put the windmill up, and I put it up with 2 sails, but Andy tells me he's added another couple of sails, and he's got one more to add to get up to the full 5. Now this isn't a sophisticated setup at the moment. Wow, yeah, that's looking good. Look at that. Yeah, that's 4. Yeah, so we've got 5 on the Helvhammer and 4 on the quern so far. Both of them proving invaluable, I may add. Right. Okay, let's just shut that. So we're getting the automation going, and one of the reasons we need so much copper is that we are actually starting to put the mechanization in. Now over here, these are our barrels for salting, this is our halite, and this is why we need querns. Also we will need limestone and things like that. So this area is going to be for the sort of preservation of food and for querning, if that's such a word. And then over here we've got other things we are going to make, and we've got fire clay, just a little bit, and blue clay over here for when we produce things. So all that is coming along very, very nicely. Yeah, that looks reasonably good. Now, in addition to that, we have done a lot of work on the outside, which I'm going to show you. We've all been collecting flowers. I've got more bean-aids. Now, these 2 age crates are the ones that I got from when we went through the translocator, and we are both trying to see if anybody else wants those. We've got borax and sylvite in here. Somebody left this in the middle of my cellar. Now, one of the things I did get, if you remember when we went through the translocator, was a temporal gear, and I have set my spawn right here. This is one of our first barrels of rot coming through, and then in here we've just got loads of food, and I am going to eat some food and take this and put it there so that I can do it. I understand that these crocs always face north. That's the way crocs go. So we've generally moved on quite a lot. Looking at it here, apart from the sorting out here, Andy has been an absolute star and made a brass torch holder. When I lost everything and sort of came back after dying, I didn't have a torch on me. I lost all my torches, but he's been very, very good and made a torch holder which is so sensible. We've got some of the sidings complete round here, but not the whole lot. And as I said, we have a very, very nice area through here where we can pan in absolute safety, which is always something to be looked for. Now I'm going to shut this door, and when it is fully light, I will give you another tour. Welcome back. I have just waited till it was a little bit lighter. So I wanted to show you that we have been feeding these pigs to get them to spawn. They spawned, we had lots of little piglets, but to our intense disappointment, they spawned outside. The mother pig managed to glitch outside the railings, and pigs often glitch outside railings, and she had the piglets outside, so goodness knows where they are. We have a lot of meat salting. Our tree died from cold, which is horrific. So I think I'm just going to take this down for firewood. There's no point in leaving a dead tree. And it has died. It says it's dead. It's not just gone dormant for the winter. Now in here, I spent a long time killing rabbits, raccoons and anything else that had fallen in. Which led to a huge supply of good red meat and feathers. So we've been doing that. Over here, oh, that's where he's put the bony rib cage. Over here, I've been expanding the bees. It's difficult to tell with someone else's build, but we do have new beehives here, another one on that side. Now, I had problems in, oh, don't jump in with the torches on your bar. Because these things move, and this has slipped off here into the water. So I am going to surround my bee area with beautiful white sand, with this granite sand to match the rest of it. And then I'm going to put fence all the way round, not to keep the bees in or the raccoons out, but to keep the straw dummies in. They are eerie the way they move, and the fact that it's slipped from here down to here. And of course, now that it's in the water, it doesn't fend the bees off quite so well. We have done, well, I have done a lot of killing in here. I killed 4 or 5 wolves, which gave me fat and pelts. I've still got one in there. We're getting pigs. And this is almost like our larder, because we've got pigs elsewhere that we're breeding up. We've got sheep elsewhere, cows I'm not fussed about, and chickens we've got in here. And, which is really odd, there is a cow that has spawned into the chicken run. I find that more than strange. I've been feeding these sheep, but they're not too sort of happy at the moment. That one, let me see if I can go in and see. I don't think they're ready to mate. Ooh. Ready to mate. And I've been feeding them. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Now, I'm going to take you to spawn because I was trying to buy some terra preta. And it was quite, you know, I was saying, look, you know, at that point I didn't have rusty gears. And I was saying, look, you know, I would like to pay with candles. See, there's one of the piglets. They've all escaped, all gone. And I know that a lot of people, when they're doing big builds, they like to buy candles. So I was going to try and sort of, that's why I'm building up the bees, because it's something that I can sell early in the game. So I said, well, how many candles would you accept for terra preta? And then Apache said, well, we've got a farm that nobody is using. What's that? Oh, it's a dead rabbit. Right. Okay. We've got a farm that no one's using at spawn behind your shop. So I've come over here to show you where it is. Ah, the fox killed the rabbit. Now I'm with you. And if you remember when we first set up here, we set up 2 farms that were communal farms, and it did keep us all fed, and Hippie did an absolutely brilliant job of managing the farms. We now have slightly better farms. Oh gosh. Oh my word. There is no need to be short of meat. So over here, this big farm is still going, and that's a huge flax farm there. Is that a rabbit? Are you stuck behind the fence? Yeah, it's in the other direction. Good heavens. But Apache said, look, we're not using this farm at all. Why don't you take it down? And then, which we have done, and then we could extend the shop. And I think the back of this shop has been a bit limited, and a really nice extension of the shop out here. And I'd love to put a terrace overlooking the lake. I really, really want to put a terrace there. There's also quartz under there as well. So we agreed, he agreed, or not agreed, he suggested that we should take the terra preta from the farm there. We asked, of course, if anybody objected, and nobody did. So we came round here, and in fact I was one of the ones who gave some of the terra preta. Nathan gave most of it, everybody contributed a bit, but I gave some of that terra preta anyway, so one doesn't feel too bad about it. Coming round here, we are trying to increase the amount of flax we've got, and so coming up here, yeah, that's the sow, or no, that's the boar, but we've got little baby pigs everywhere. Let's come around our nice path that Andy made, and you can see that round here we took the terra preta from spawn, and as I said, that was with permission. And in here, ooh, that's not our terra preta, right? I don't know what he's done with it. Has he taken it up to his area? That would make sense. Let me just check our fields down here, because Andy told me that he'd removed the terra preta from spawn, but I'm not sure quite where he's put it. Is it over here, or has he put it up in his area? I don't mind. No. Yes, this is where it is. So this is where the terra preta is from spawn, and it's now growing flax. We are trying to up our amount of flax considerably. So a lot of work has been done there. So all in all, we have progressed mightily. Let's go and look at the other windmill, see how that's looking from outside. And it's small things as well. Oh, there's a rift up there. We've been making molds, this, that and the other. I need to plant some more acacia over here. I harvested a lot. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. 1 set of cells. And as I said, this is not meant to be in any way, shape or form our final layout, because we will be using the large gears and things like that. But what it is doing is getting us mechanized at an early stage, so that when we kill all the meat, we can actually grind it up easily in a quern, or grind the salt up in a quern and salt the meat. So it's going to help us with our food supplies mightily, and having the terra preta from spawn is going to help us enormously with our flax. Now, Andy's taken up the terra preta at spawn, and I'm not inclined to do anything with that at the moment, other than just let it run, basically. So, we have put in a couple of days of really hard grind, and it's amazing how it doesn't show very obviously, but it's quite astonishing how much better you feel once you've got certain things sorted out, like somewhere to pan, a quern that you don't have to stand next to. Now obviously if I put anything in the quern at the moment, because we haven't got a stick in here, it will be okay. So if I take 32, half a block, I can put that in the quern, and it should, yeah, it will automatically transfer that. Now 1 halite makes 2 ground halite. That's why I've only put 32 in, because the limit of this should be 64. So it should be able to do that without spilling it. Obviously where the position we want to get into is where the hoppers pick up everything. But this is why we have been going crazy mining copper to try to get hoppers and chutes together. So all in all, our little kingdom is expanding. Other things we've been doing are just things like making a shovel mold and another pickaxe mold, because if I make pickaxes, I'd like to make 2, one for an Andy and one for I. So my idea, although we share all this, would be to have 2 molds of each. Then each time one of us makes a set of tools, we make one for the other, and it becomes much, much easier. So all in all, our ores look to be where they were. Our fuel, I've increased it, and Andy has with this, and we are in a lot better position moving forwards because we're just that little bit richer. So we put in the hard yards, and I think it's paid off. Let me add this dead tree firewood to our pile. That's awful, isn't it? All that work for a dead tree. And I think it's looking pretty beautiful. Now at the moment, it's 1 degree and it's January. So I don't think many people have been on since yesterday. But I am so grateful that Andy and I decided to pair up on this, because each of us has we're both people who pull our weight and who are, trying to work together very, very effectively. So I think that's working very well between the two of us. But when it comes to the grind, he and I spent, I think, hours and hours yesterday just to get a little bit further forwards. But lucky for you, we're not going to show you, I video everything. So I've got hours and hours of tapes of me just mining, finding things, making chests, dividing things up, building hoppers and things like that. But I think that's a huge step forwards, having put in the hard graft. So leave a like and appreciation of our hard work, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.